Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
I'm home, honey.
Good morning. It is a bright and sunny day today, and it's a perfect day to have some fun. Now, this video is going to be a little bit about finding antiques, a little bit about having fun with the family, and it's going to roll all into one. But we're starting off the day, myself and Jason, myself and Jason, it's early right now. We got up early this morning because we are meeting some folks at their house. They have some antiques that they want to sell, and heck, I'm going to go check it out. So that's first stop. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I didn't show the picking portion because, well, frankly, it was in somebody's house, and not everybody's okay with having people with a camera inside their property. But I was able to dig some stuff out of the basement, which is in the back of the vehicle here. We're going to go through this later at the house. Jason's getting the back opened up. I'm at my old shop because I didn't want to bring, I've got this really cool mid-century modern chair that I picked up today. I don't have really space for it at the house even to process it there, so we're going to drop that off at the store. But it looks like the ice cream people must be really ready to open, so we're going to have a look and see what they've been up to too. There, we got the chair in place. I'm sure somebody would like that. It's a cool, you know, retro kind of vibe. Would have been a high-end piece of furniture back in the day, and it's not in bad condition. So that's done, but I'm interested to see what's happening next door. Well, isn't this just looking cute out here? They've got the flowers all trimmed back. They've put some nice potted flowers and a bench here. They've painted up the picnic table, strung some lights, some solar lights from the looks of things. Just made a really nice space out here. And I hope that things go well for them, because my understanding is they're gonna do a soft open today. And I'm gonna bring the kids back here in just a couple hours. We're gonna try our first bit of ice cream from the ice cream parlor next to our old store. I have to admit, I'd kind of like to, I want to see something in our old building sooner than later. We had a lease sign. Unfortunately, they weren't able to pull through with it. But the ice cream shop definitely needs a new neighbor, and so does the neighborhood. Here I am at the store. We've got Melissa, we've got Bill. Bill, have you been here this whole time? You know, we closed down about a month ago.
I forgot to go home.
Oh, you forgot to go? It's a good thing I came. You must have been running out of food here.
This has been bad.
We got Jason and his friend Caitlin and Abigail, who's way over there. Hey, honey. Hey. And we're going to try out the ice cream next door in minutes. I feel nervous for them almost. Hey, Melissa, like, remember when it was our first day and we were opening and how excited that was?
I'm excited for them. I can't wait.
I'm excited for them too. So I guess I don't even know what all their different flavors are. So we're gonna have to try really hard to figure out what we're gonna eat. But you guys up for trying some ice cream?
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is the big day. They're getting the ribbon ready.
Hi, but that's fine.
Romeo's here, getting ready to open up. Ribbon's about to be cut.
With Melissa.
We have, I know her, and I know her. But everybody, this is Romeo. Romeo is one of the owners of Twice Cream. Hello, Romeo.
Hi guys. Hello, Alex.
And if you can't trust a man wearing that shirt with that mustache, with
Canada Day.
and it's Canada Day,
I look like a picnic. I'm a walking picnic.
you're a walking picnic at the picnic table.
Yeah.
You said you're tired. You've been making ice cream nonstop, basically,
little.
right?
Non-stop.
Nonstop.
2 weeks.
But to look what you're going to be doing soon. You're going to be cutting that ribbon
Right.
and feeding all these faces
Okay.
with your
As
creations.
long as it's just these faces, I can't handle any more than this right
Oh, but
now.
look, I see people walking. Look at this.
yeah.
The celebrations are about to begin. And here's Lily, the other half. You've been in there training all these wonderful people.
Yes,
And-
these are wonderful new staff.
And you've got your scissors ready to go.
Ready to go.
Okay, well, I'm going to stand back and let you guys work your magic.
One room.
It's time.
Oh, right, okay.
Romeo has been working day and night getting ice cream ready. Lily's been getting the store ready, training staff. I'm so excited and so proud of these guys for living to their dream.
It's beautiful.
That's good quality ribbon. Yay! And officially, Twice Cream is open for business. Ooh, it smells like waffle cone in here. Melissa's filming. And of course, Josh's little sitting area is theirs now. They purchased it from us and got it going, but they've got candy. Does it ever look cute in here? Okay, I feel honored. I got the very first scoop of ice cream. But look, there's our kids there, but it's not just them. There's a whole lineup of people all the way out the door. I sure hope it's a great day for these guys. I'm gonna enjoy this. So Bill, what flavor did you get?
Brazilian Canadian coffee.
And?
It's good. It's very good.
And what'd you get, Dave?
I got Tres Leche birthday cake, and it's actually got pieces of cake in it, which are a little frozen still, but
I guess it would be.
though.
Yeah, it's a nice little addition. So I guess we can meet back here again.
Yeah.
Do some meetups and meet at the ice cream shop now too. So,
Sure.
well, enjoy your ice cream, guys.
Thanks. Cheers.
And look, they even kept and framed some of the pictures of the original building. There's Mrs. Eccleston and her ice cream cone dispenser. And I felt it was only suited to fit right here. And look, they did such a nice little display of it. Well, I'm glad that their business is a bustling success on day one. And they didn't even advertise today either. This is a soft open. The official day isn't for another week or so. But we're all full ice cream. We're going to head home. I have to unload that truck. And got to do a little cleaning to a couple of the cars too. So back I go back to the old homestead. I had to duck inside for a bit because we had some rain. It's now stopped. Hopefully long enough for me to get all the stuff that I bought out of the back of the truck. Well, I can see a little bit of it there. Just a few boxes, but let's get this stuff unpacked. I'll show you what came home today. Okay, the first thing you might notice is that there's a clock case in here. And I do believe I have everything for this clock. I think it's a really, really, really old clock. Part of the reason, let's see, not listed as a clockmaker in either the Dead Clock Book, present day version of the Welsh Village, provincial clock dealer for when the works were made. Interesting. It's had a little bit of wormwood in it. Hopefully they're not terrorizing this thing anymore. But a few ways to tell if it's a really old piece of furniture. One, you look at the nails. Those are square nails. Those are hand forged. Those aren't machine made nails. The other thing is, this is not veneered. This is solid wood. Most clocks that you see are on the more modern side, and they would be veneered. But this is solid pieces of wood that have been stained. It's got some cracking in it, it's got some age, but I think this is a terribly old clock. When we look at the works here, what does it say? David Lenners? I'm trying to read it here. I'll have to Langendern. I'm not the best at deciphering that script right now. Oh, it's David. Yeah, David. David Lenvis, perhaps. Okay. Well, anyway, I'll have to do some research on it. But to me, this looks like an incredibly old mechanism. I'm hoping that the weights and everything are here for it. I'll try piecing it back together. But judging from the clock case, I'm going to say this is probably, a couple hundred years old at least. This type of construction, you can see it's wide grain, big planks of wood that they used here. This could go back to the 1700s even. So kind of a neat thing to find. I'm going to get it out of the back there and see what she looks like more or less put together in a little while. Of course, just a minute before I had the answer right there. David Lewis from the Welsh village of Langendern. So this has got to be quite an ancient clock. Anyway, As you can see, the head of the unit is not on it right now. That's fine, I have it. It's in the cab of the truck, and I've got the mechanism. It's just a matter of putting it all together. Because it's kind of in pieces like this, I got it for a reasonably good price. If I can make this actually work and function, it'll have some value again. But as for right now, it's sort of just a project which I will have to get to when I have time. I don't often buy rugs from people. However, this one is a hand-woven rug, or woven rug, and it's about 130 years old. Been in the family for quite some time. Brought over from England. They don't know the story prior to that. But overall, it's not in bad shape. It does have a little bit of fraying, which you'd expect after all those years, but it's very decent. And that's a big one too. It's probably about 10 by 15 or somewhere in there. So it's it covers quite a bit of square footage. We'll get this dragged out and then go through some of the boxes and bins back there. Now, I grabbed this bucket from the basement because it looked like some interesting odds and ends, but more importantly, I believe that's the weight for the grandfather clock. Very primitive looking. Big old chunk of lead right there, but I think that's the weight for the clock. We'll find out. Lots of brass code hooks, doorknobs. Looks like holders and things, so lots of brass bits and pieces in here that perhaps if somebody was fixing up their period home or wanted to do some crafty things with doorknobs, you know, where you can add some stuff on, maybe some furniture and you're adding some hardware to it. Just really neat little items. And, you know, the fact there's a whole pail full of it is pretty good. That means that that's going to be a good sellable lot of things for me. I'll separate these out and those will do well at the auction. This sort of stuff always does. Always somebody looking for hooks. You know, before I send them off to the sale, I might be able to find a use for some of this stuff myself. I'll have to give that some consideration. There was also this little suitcase, which I grabbed because I really... It's slippery right there. I grabbed it because I really like the stickers that are all over it. We've got Hong Kong Airways, the Hong Kong Hotel in Shanghai, Banff, Alberta. So this suitcase has been around. Look at all the different places this has been. And some of these are quite old. Cathay Pacific Airways. This is a little suitcase that tells a story. And that's what I love about it. I love that it, you know, somebody's hauled this thing all around the world, probably back in the 1940s or, yeah, I'd say that's a DC3, 40s or 50s, that this was making its way around. When you open it up, what's inside? But a whole pile of little model airplanes from days gone by. American Airlines, that's wood, I believe. Yeah, it's a little wooden airplane. Kind of a neat piece. So these are little wooden models. I was going to say plastic, but I think they're all wood. Anyway, it's neat stuff. These might have been the sort of thing that the airlines gave out to kids that were flying, or that maybe you could purchase. But those decals on there look far too professional to have been applied by a kid. So I think that might be a promotional piece. The others, I'm not so sure. They look more like a kid did them. But at least, you know, some pretty cool stuff in here. Seal this bag up. Let's make sure there's nothing in the pocket. Sometimes there's things in the pockets. It's worth checking. Side pockets? Nope. Nothing. Be nice to find like a Mickey Mantle rookie card or something stashed in there. You never know. Can always dream. When I'm scrounging around in a basement, I'm looking for boxes that have sort of interesting things in it. And this is a really cool piece. It's a backlit frosted glass ship lamp. Now that's got to go back to probably the 1920s or so. It looks like it has the original cord. And heck, it might even have the original light bulb. That Westinghouse bulb looks almost as old as this whole lamp, and it's pink, which is kind of neat. The cord, surprisingly not in terrible condition. You know, doesn't look like it would kill me if I tried plugging it in. And underneath it, there's a nice Seth Thomas mantle clock. It's wood with a marbleized sort of finish. Some adornments in gilded paint. Anyway, a neat piece. And Seth Thomas is a good brand. And Jason actually pointed out, he's gone inside the house, but he pointed out that the key is right there. So I'm gonna give this a try and actually see if that thing works. Find a safe place to put that. The last thing I want is that to go toppling off the tailgate of my truck here, so I'm gonna have to be careful. Let's see if we can make this old Seth Thomas clock do what it's supposed to do. The first thing I'm gonna check and see, and I didn't check when I moved it, is whether the pendulum was in it. And I should have, it's in the box here. Okay, good. The pendulum wasn't on. You want to make sure the pendulum in there is taken off, and I can see it right down inside. They don't travel well with the pendulum attached, so we're gonna put the pendulum on by just hooking it on, kind of just like so. Get that on there. This actually just kind of fell off. Have to reattach that after. We'll get the pendulum on and see if I can unwind this. Here, my neighbor's dogs are unhappy with the situation. I'm going to get this unwound here and then we'll try winding it up. We'll give this a try. Okay. One of these is going to be probably for, I don't know if this is for the chime. The other is to wind the clock itself. And if you notice, it's actually going counterclockwise. Some of these clocks go the opposite direction. Now this doesn't sound promising. It's making some funny noises. It sounds like the spring it has sprung, not in a good way. This one is, that one's done. And we've got this little guy up at the top here. Let's see. Well, see if I can, I don't know if that was the chime side or the clock side, but one of the main springs in there is toast. It looks like somebody's actually wired the spring in place as I'm looking at it. Perhaps it's not winding because somebody has wrapped and twisted wire around that winding spring for some reason. Maybe it's broken, or maybe they just did it while they were transporting it. Either way, it's not going to work properly with that on there. Yeah, it's actually running right through the gear. You see that? I don't know if you see that. That little wire's got to come off. I'm just trying to think of a reason why they have it on there. The only thing I can think of is that they were moving it and they didn't want it to be ticking the whole way. But I'm going to see if I can trim that off and make this thing go. Well, I think I know why, and I took the back off the clock in case you can't tell. I think I know why they had that wired up. It was obviously a damaged spring, and they probably had wound it tight and wired it so they could remove it at some point to replace, and it never happened. So now I've got this non-functioning spring in there. It should be wound tight, kind of like the other one is, but it is not winding at all. So that might be a another issue for another day, or just sell it as an ornamental piece to somebody who's looking for kind of a neat looking mantle clock, albeit non-functioning right now. Probably not a difficult fix for somebody who does clock repair. In fact, I could probably figure it out myself how to get these bars off and get a new spring on, but I don't know if I'm going to tackle that myself. So I'll put it back together and it'll be likely sold as is. But at least now I kind of know what's wrong with it. So we'll get those guys back in their box, deal with that another day. Box number 2, the box next to it, we have these antique Asian figures, little handmade clothes and a straw broom and little fine hair and painted faces. I'm guessing these were probably purchased on that trip that we saw in that suitcase where somebody went to Hong Kong probably back in the 40s or 50s. It looks like a tourist trade piece. Kind of interesting though. We've got a tiny little washboard, maybe for tiny little clothes. The Ideal Canadian Woodenware Company, Winnipeg, St. Thomas, and Montreal. Not bad shape. It's a metal rather than glass, corrugated metal washboard. Here's some more hardware. Lock sets for the doorknobs. We've got some other, there's some brass doorknob plates. The old two button light switch. I've used these before. I don't know if you guys have or not, but essentially you have these little buttons on here, and that's how you turn your switch on and off. Clunk, clunk. Had an old house I lived in once that had those, and it still worked just fine. But a lot of times people replace them as they upgrade their wiring. Oh, look, it's in an old model kit box. What is it? The Fiend. Looks like a drag racer from the 70s monogram. Cool. The box it's in is probably worth something to somebody too. Oh, here's a whole bunch of these plates. If you ever wanted to retrofit your house back to the way it was, there's your chance. What do we have in the bag? A little tin. Sounds like there's marbles in it. Yep, and that's full of marbles. And another bag of marbles. More marbles. I had actually purchased a whole bunch of marbles from this estate before, and many of them were hundreds of years old. I have a feeling these are not, because they have the tags on them, but let's see. Dichloroside kills clothing moths. Well, it sounds like it's more marbles. Nothing like putting your kid's marbles in a chemical tin. These marbles in this tin are, in fact, quite a bit older than the other marbles. There's multiple generations here, so this would be like Grandpa's marble collection, where this would be marbles they probably purchased for the grandkid. I can tell by looking at these go way back. I'm going to set those aside because the older marbles are actually worth a little bit more than the newer ones. And there's a bunch of newer marbles, and some old, some new mix. I'll have to go through those. Haven't played marbles in ages. I'm sounding old, like an old person who'd say, when we'd go down to the corner store and play jacks or tiddlywinks. I remember playing marbles. My kids don't remember that. Look, there's some keys in here. It's kind of a pretty little jewelry box. I think that's what that is. A little keepsake box with some, those look like handcuff keys. They're definitely lock keys. Door keys. Little brass button. Looks like a police button. It is Northwest Mounted Police. That's an oldie. That is true early Mountie stuff right there. I wonder if there's any others. Lots of little buttons and cufflinks, and I think there's probably a little assortment of stuff in here. Mother of pearl. Sometimes you find that these are actually gold too. That is not. Well, the Northwest Mounted Police button is definitely a good find. I don't see another one in there, but that's a good piece right there. Close that up. Last two boxes in here are more brass doorknobs. Boy, I have the market cornered on brass doorknobs if I ever need it. Some old hinges, and these are wooden casters that would have been used on like old office chairs or office furniture. But, you know, kind of a handy thing to have in case you're missing a wheel off the bottom of your chair. That's handy to have. Okay, well, I'll get this packed up and ready that for sale. Get everything put back in there. Now, when we were at the house, we were digging in sort of the storage room and came across this great old trunk, which the fellow said had belonged to his grandfather when he came over from England. And that would have been in the late 1800s. This gentleman was quite elderly himself. However, I said, are you sure you don't want to keep this? Are you sure that somebody in your family wouldn't want this? And he said, no, nobody wants it. And they're moving, and so it had to go. And so that's how sometimes I end up with family heirlooms that have been in a family for 3 or 4 generations, that it just gets to the end of the road and the kids look at it and go, you know, we got enough of our own stuff. We don't need this trunk. So anyway, I ended up with this great trunk. It's got the guy's initials on it. Skeleton key lock. But what was inside was a little bit more interesting to me, because look at this. Bum, 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 bum. It's all old train set gear. Like accessories, and I'm talking like pre-war era kind of stuff. Like this is early. I can't tell if that's American Flyer or Lionel. There's kind of a combination of stuff in here. We've got a tin set, or a pressed steel set. That's a clockwork engine. So that you wind up with the key, New York Central. And does it have the maker mark on it? Usually they do have the maker's name on it. I'm not seeing it stamped on this one. Somewhere on here it should be stamped in the metal who manufactured that. But look at all the cool stuff in here. There's The 3-rail track would be power supply track. You wouldn't need the 3rd rail for a wind-up set because the middle rail is what gave the power to the engine in a lot of the older sets. So I'm hoping, and what I see at the bottom there is it looks like there's more train stuff. So let's see if I can't get this little... This is the control unit that they built. So it's got a Marx control panel. It's got a midget toy transformer from the Jefferson Electric Manufacturing Company. Now that's got to be pretty old. That's as old school looking of a transformer as I've seen. But that's how they powered this train. And let's see, we've got some powered switches that are Marx, made in the good old US of A. And at the very bottom, yeah, okay, we've got American Flyer. That is a really early American Flyer. That's O gauge. American Flyer tanker. Canadian Fairbanks Morse. That's the coal for this coal car, but that's another American Flyer coal car, American Flyer. So I'm guessing this is a really old American Flyer set. I'm gonna see, this is like a New York style electric engine. I don't remember American Flyer making one like this, but maybe. Oh no, that's because it's Lionel. It's O gauge Lionel, New York Central, yep. This is what they would have used in the underground, like the subways and stuff way back when. Underground electric railway engine. But that has got to go back to the 1930s, I would say. Original paint. Missing the lights. There would have been these little sort of lights clipped on the top. Maybe they're in the box somewhere. Maybe I'll get lucky and find them in here somewhere. But that's an early Lionel engine. And here is your pickup. One of them anyway. There probably was another. Maybe not. It looks like maybe there was another roller that snapped off, unfortunately. But this is where your power supply goes in. That's that 3rd rail for the electrified set. And then we've got another little box car there too. American Flyer automobile car. Let's see what this one is. Automobile car. Well, it's pretty neat. Well, I wonder if this was a Clockwork American Flyer train. No, it doesn't look like that hooks on the same way. Well, the mystery will be solved eventually. I don't see a tender for that, but maybe we've clearly got a couple type of sets in here. But look, there's a nice little flood lamp, all tin, which is so nice. Later they ended up making it out of plastic. Look at that bright red paint on that. Beautiful. And oh, there's another flat car over here. Some signs. What are they advertising on the signs? Got a minute, have a Hires root beer. I would have a minute for a Hires root beer. You can kind of get an idea of the age of some of these things based on the picture. That's definitely like a 1940s kind of style car. This is part of a Lionel toy set. It's Plasticville. Solar X sunglass sign. Another little train car. And it looks like there's a little London toy oil tanker, Imperial Oil. Known up here as Esso. You could almost strap that right on the car and look like it's transporting it. Maybe that's what the kid did. Flood lamp. Oh, actually, that's the flood lamp for that. I think this is a flood lamp car. And it looks like this has some circular rotating marks on there. Maybe there was something going on there. Who's to say? I'll have to do a little bit of research, aka look it up online later. Here's a really nice American Flyer train crossing. Heavy cast metal in green. Love these pre-war sort of colors. They're so bright and so fun. The greens, the reds, the black and white. Isn't that just a lovely thing? And we got the little crane car accessory too. And that's Marx. So a variety of different types of toys. We got this big bridge in here. But a lot of good early train stuff. I mean, it's not often you find toys in the basement that are of this age still, that have been in the same family for close to 100 years. So that's pretty fortunate that I was able to come across this stuff and to know it came from the original family. Are these light poles? Yeah, they are. They're meant to be light standards for your train layout. Some neat stuff in this box. I'd say that's a pretty good haul. Okay, I'm gonna try and roughly assemble their clock. I've got the clock case standing up. I propped it up so my garage is on a bit of an angle to let water go down. So put a couple of wedges under it for now, but the mechanism should go on and then the case top should go on. So that's what I'm gonna do. See what it looks like, at least anyhow. Okay, that should go something like this. It just kind of sits in those grooves right there. Wood is notched perfectly for it. Chain through the middle. I'm gonna get the top of it on. We'll see what it looks like. Well, I would say that looks better already, but I don't think I'll be getting it working anytime soon. Not because there might be anything wrong with the mechanism itself, but I noticed that the pendulum rod is broken. Possibly one of the reasons why this thing got stashed away in their basement at first. You never know, there's some extra pins and stuff in there. It might be able to be welded or mended, I don't know. There's a lot of weight on the end of this. Look how primitive this pendulum is. I might be able to just get another pendulum rod, but it would be nice to use the original bits if I could. But that's intended to mount on the back of the clock. That is supposed to be straight as an arrow with this big weight on the end, and then of course it ticks back and forth. That is not going to happen anytime soon with it being in the condition that it's in. Gosh, it looks like it was made by Vikings. Look at this. Very crude, very, very early piece. Well, I'll see if maybe this can be repaired. If not, I might just have to get a new rod for that. But pretty nifty though, either way. Last but not least, I've got a couple other little trunks here. I had to show this too. This is, they prescribe these for asthma, I believe. These are asthma cigarettes, you know, to help you with your breathing. Little did they know, only they knew then what they know now. This is kind of a cool piece. This is a hat box, but if we open the hat box, okay, we've got a 1973 silver dollar with a mountie on it. That's sterling silver, or as much silver as you'd expect. This looks like a Ronson. It's a pen lighter, so it's a mechanical pencil on one side and lighter on the other. Pencil lighter, that's what it's called. And it looks like it even has the spare lead inside the case too. That's a neat piece. A precious non-tarnishing metal of the platinum group, plated with rhodium. But what was actually meant to be in this case is this. It's a sailor's hat, Second World War. But what's odd is it says HMCS, but then I don't see the actual ship name. HMCS what? What ship was this from? Now, I guess I could do a little bit of research and figure that out, because the sailor's name is right on the front there. C.R. Colville. So I could probably find service records on C.R. Colville and see what ship. There weren't too many. Well, I guess there was a number of Canadian ships during the Second World War, but it would be easier to track down since we're, you know, there weren't as many Canadians serving. So I should be able to figure out what that is. But let's have a look inside the trunk. And we have toys and stuff. Like another tiny little sewing machine. Those are always fun. Is this a German one? Yeah, made in Germany. And it didn't say Western Zone Germany or anything like that, so that's probably pre-war. Nice little German sewing machine with the thread ready to go. Just needs a needle in there and I think you'd be all set. An antique pipe tobacco tin. Feels like it's empty. Pointer on tobacco, Granger pipe tobacco. Good condition. Nice graphics, nice colors on that. We got a nice little lantern, Coleman lantern. And I know I've mentioned this before on other videos, but if you look at the front of a Coleman lantern, oftentimes you'll find the date is printed on it. There we go, 1958. The 5/8 there, that's the year. This is from 1958. Really decent condition. That'd probably polish up like nobody's business. Got the, it looks like it's pretty much ready to light and use. Just add kerosene and go camping. We got a stormtrooper. Again, multiple generations of stuff. So you're gonna see all sorts of things in here. All sorts of matchbooks. Sometimes, if they're from a service station, they could be a little bit on the collectible side, but not all matchbooks are. But all it takes is the right one, oops, for it to be worth a little bit of money. Those look kind of generic. Oh, here's I guess this would be a German cigarette tin. We're proclaiming Italy and Germany proclaiming their victory. It has a little paper inside of it. Oh, there's a note actually. Well, let's see what the note says. Let's see what this note is all about. A cigarette case showing the German and Italian flags and a V for victory, but not theirs. Found this in Sicily. Found this in the rubble in Sicily. That was the soldier that brought that back. So found it in the rubble in Sicily. Isn't that neat? And how neat to have that little note that's been tucked in there since the war too. I wonder if it was this soldier. It's Colville. Kind of a cool piece. And we've got McCormick Deering tractor with the farm all. You know what? This is these are more interesting than usual because these are promotional. Too bad the grill's not on here. Maybe it's in the case somewhere, but these are dealer promotional toys that wouldn't have been able to be, this isn't like a commonly purchased thing. This would have been a specialty sort of item. I've not had these before. Really cool. So if you're an international truck dealer, and I don't think they made a lot of miniatures of international trucks either, so that's pretty nifty. That's a cool piece. What do we have here? A little cat envelope holder, it looks like. What else is going on here? Oh, more toys. Oh, look, there's a C-3PO in decent shape. We got Luke Skywalker, and he still has his lightsaber. I've had these things before. These are like, oh, it has a rocket still with it too. Just fell out of there. That's cool. It's oftentimes missing. Some 1970s stuff. And a little Fisher-Price dude wearing a Jaw cape. And what do we have in the tin? More matchbooks. I'm gonna dump these out though. Oh, look here. There's a good one right there. Esso Extra Motor Oil. Somebody who collects Esso stuff or Imperial Oil stuff like this, gas station memorabilia, would be all into that. Major of Alberta, phone 410. It's a 3-digit phone number, so that's going back a few years. So maybe there will be a few little treasures in here. Like that's probably a $25 or $30 matchbook case. So there is some value in that. And sometimes it's worth looking through the others to see if you get a couple extra treasures too. But I'm also kind of excited that there were some Star Wars figures in here in reasonably good condition as well. I'm gonna dump these matchbooks out and see what we got. I think part of the reason why some people are fascinated with matchbook covers is it's a little bit of history. You know, somebody was there, somebody was at the place where it came from and brought this little bit of history back with them. So what's this? Paul Bunyan's Days of Yours. The Schaffers in Sandpoint, Idaho. And it looks like nobody's even used the matches in there. They're still all in there. But the right matches are not just interesting, they can also be collectibles. At the print shop, she flies the trapeze with the greatest of ease, but our ads are on front, so turn over, please. Cute. So I guess I'll do a little sorting here. Let's see what else. We've got the Flamingo Hotel. Oh, but it's not the Flamingo in Las Vegas, it's the Flamingo in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Wonder if that's still there. Here's an old Tim Hortons. Anytime is Timbits time. Made fresh daily, of course, a big Canadian franchise. I think now it's owned by Burger King. After sorting for a bit, here are a few of my favorites. This one, they have a sense of humor. It must be from when the space race kind of started. It says, rooms for the weary traveler, as though the astronauts have sat down and decided they needed a motel at Pari's Motel in Ottawa. And then we've got some World War II sort of era. So war bond advertisements, Royal Canadian Air Force. And then you start saying, oh, I wonder what else the person was into. You got the Old Forge Cabaret in Victoria, and it looks like they visited there a few times. Golden Nugget Gambling Mall in Las Vegas. Some Ford and Mercury. I think that's Las Vegas and not Reno. To be honest with you, I'm not much of a gambler, so I don't kind of keep track of that. But where is the Golden Nugget Gambling Hall? It doesn't say. Well, somebody knows where the Golden Nugget is. I thought it was in Vegas, but I could be wrong. Anyway, there's Ford Mercury advertising matchbook. And you've got your boat motor, your Chevrolet Oldsmobile, the Doodlebugger, which I guess was an oil drill bit. Hunt's tomato sauce, Frisco. This one's a little bit naughty. Look at that. They're advertising industrial supplies, but it seems to be a bolt chasing after a nut. Oh, no, you don't. No comment. Goodyear tires. Anyway, so a little variety tells the story, and these are the ones I thought were a little bit more interesting anyway. As for all the others, well, they'll just go out by the box lot and they'll go through auction, and there are other people other than myself who buy these things, so I'm sure they'll sell too. Well, it was a good haul of stuff today, and on top of it, we got to go for ice cream at the new ice cream parlor next to our old store. So if you're in the Edmonton area, check out Twice Cream, 10983 127th Street, and I'll be sure to be going back there again soon because it was delicious. As for me, I have some sorting to do, some stuff to put away, and I guess get ready for another sale, which is what I do. You guys have a wonderful day. We'll see y'all soon. I hope you enjoyed today's adventure. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That's how you know if we're putting out videos or not. Anyway, guys, back to the grindstone. We'll see y'all soon, and bye for now.